Okay, here we go. Counting down in five, four, three, two, and one. Jerry Dreadlocks, welcome to Cam Talks.
Hello, Cameron. Thank you for having me, dude. It's a great pleasure to be here. There
Dude,
might be some building works and stuff. I don't know if you can hear
we
that
love
going on.
building works, man. This is what it's about. We're trying to set the scene for the audience right now who are listening. So, Jerry, where in the world are you? You said there's some building
Oh,
works going on,
true.
but
Yeah.
for those
Yeah.
listening, like where physically are you? Explain yourself.
Explain myself. I am in a country called Ecuador in South America. We've been here for coming up to 3 months, and yeah, we're in a city called Cuenca, which is south of the capital. It's a quite a small city, but it's nice. Very quaint. It's got a lot of like historical architecture and stuff. We're kind of like overlooking. You see this the cathedral,
Wow.
the Cathedral of
For
Cuenca.
anybody listening, there is the most Assassin's Creed looking cathedral I've seen. You've
So
almost
yeah,
like
I don't know if you
you're
can see
being
that.
tempted to just jump over the balcony and just go and run across it and just eagle dive and
It's a pile of
don't do
hay.
that. But obviously, Jerry, Ecuador is not the first country that you've been living in. You've been living in and around South America for how many months now?
Sure, sure. Been in South America for like 9 months, maybe something like this. We were in Central America for about a year. No, June 22 is when we left for Central America. So yeah, I don't know how many months that is, but
I mean, but you are literally
yeah,
living the dream, right? You're living and working and exploring the world. All because what? Are you a digital nomad? Is that how we'd call you?
I think this is the term coined now, isn't it? The digital nomad. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think when I tell people or about like the things that I guess the lifestyle that we have, um, it's a lot of like, oh, that would be my dream. If I could do one thing, that would be my dream, and that's why I don't talk about it too often, just because it does. I've noticed that it does lead people sometimes to more negative states of being versus like, like jealousy and stuff like this. Like if you're telling people, hey, I'm traveling the world, working as I go, all these kind of things, like that's a dream to a
Kill
lot of people. And
him,
it's a dream to me.
take him
It's a dream to
out.
me, man. Yeah, it's a dream to me. We made it happen. It's a long work in progress. We made it happen. And, the technology nowadays in today's day and age, you can go and work and travel the world if you can. If you're not, I guess if you're not tied down to time zones and everything else, and you have a computer and you have the internet, it will work. So, yeah, we're fully taking advantage of that. We've been, digital nomads is the technical term, and dude, I absolutely love it, man. Like we're just every week we're going somewhere new. Every week we're in a new flat, new Airbnb. So traveling around in Ecuador. Been here for coming up to 3 months, but we have to actually extend our visa because of a new little companion that we have now that we kind of brought along with us. Um, was a very impromptu visit,
This is
but
Dobby, right? Dobby the dog.
Dobby the dog. Yeah. So anybody who's travelled central, south, large parts of Asia and as well, but wild dogs are a big problem. And as a dog lover, I love dogs. It's been challenging for, and Lois loves dogs as well. It's been challenging for her and I to travel around these areas and see all these dogs that are, they're not doing too well, let's say. And
I mean, they're
but
stray dogs, right? They don't have any owners.
they don't have any owners, no. But there's a strange mentality to it. So if the dog is trained to be able to engage with human beings and be very calm around human beings, typically like dogs can get on. And what happens is that a dog will the dog will stay in a certain area, right? The dogs are mm, very territorial in that way. So they'll stay in an area, and the whole community then has the dog, right? Because the same people walk past every day and say hi to the dog. So it's kind of like community spirit, let's say, right? And but especially in places like Mexico and stuff, it's very important to look after dogs. They say that the dogs are companions into the afterlife. And if you look after dogs, then they'll take you across the water into the land of the afterlife. So,
Wow.
which is nice. There are some people that really, really look after dogs, but there are some people that don't. And yeah, it's broken our hearts really to see some animals not being treated right, that are, you know, very, very malnourished, famished, all these things. And it's been very, very hard. But this particular occasion, so about a month ago, Lois and I are going for our daily walk. We're going to go down to the beach, and yeah, we got to the end of the road, and we see this little head in this bush. We're like, oh, hello, little head. And out comes this tiny little puppy dog. Man, she was, oh man, like our hearts melted straight away. She was so malnourished, so thin, covered in ticks. She was like literally, yeah, I keep saying like she was on her last legs, to be honest, man. Like if we hadn't have, if human intervention hadn't come at that point, she would have been dead. And yeah, we decided to kind of bring her in, bring her to health, took her to vets, got her vaccinated, got her treatment. She's still on antibiotics and things now because she ended up getting a blood infection from the ticks. But yeah, we kind of thought, you know, we made that decision to take her with us, to bring her to recovery, and yeah, we're not quite sure what the where this is going, but
Well, you couldn't have
we love her,
planned
man.
this really. This was a spontaneous.
It was
Good
spontaneous, yeah. It was, yes. It wasn't something that we planned. We'd always said that one day we'll get a dog, right? But yeah, this was, we couldn't leave her, man. Like I think any person at that point would have seen that tiny little dog in despair, and I thought, I cannot just do nothing. Right? It would have taken a cold person, I think, to just not do anything or leave behind or whatever. So yeah, she's
Wow.
been around with a few places, man. She's from the coast, and then I'll come to the city with us, and everything's very new and mad. And we're trying to train her, and we've got a dog whisperer and a dog trainer and everything else. And yeah, we're just trying to do the best by her, really, and trying to give her a good start to life and everything else. So
Hey, dude, that is one lucky pup to have not just be, you know, taken out of the bushes, but to have found yourself and your lovely partner Lois, probably two of the most kind and compassionate individuals that I know. That dog is currently doesn't even know how lucky she is. So tell me, is
we don't know
Dobby?
how lucky we are, man.
No, no, of course. But you know, honestly, not everyone would have actually picked Dobby out of the bushes and given her the love and the care that you guys have. But the question is, does Dobby speak English, or do you have to teach her English as well? Is she actually an Ecuadorian speaking dog? Like, what's the
She
situation there?
responds to Spanish. Yeah, we speak to her in English, but she responds to Spanish. Obviously, that's a
That's so
native
funny.
language. But
Oh,
when we met
how
her,
does a
man, she
dog
wouldn't have
know
had any
Spanish?
exposure to human beings.
That's
Well, she
crazy.
wouldn't have had any exposure to human beings, but it's a native tongue, you know, it's what would have been spoken around her before if she had had contact with humans. I think when we first gave her first belly rub, like this, like the look on her face was like, this has never happened to me, and this is the best thing I've ever experienced. Like, I feel very, she was so thin. She's about 4, 5 months old, and she was so thin that it kind of looked like she didn't, like, there wasn't any proper meals, like, at all before this. Like, she hadn't been fed. She was living off flies and plants and just as wild dogs do, you know, you just do your best. The Dobby would have been a dog that would have succumbed to the, yeah, unfortunately, she probably wouldn't have made it if we hadn't have done something. So, yeah, really, you know, glad that she's with us now. She definitely adds a spark of life to us. It's a whole level of responsibility. Anybody who's had a puppy before would know that the level of responsibility that needs to go into this, the level of training that goes into it, and everything else. It's not just it's like having a child, basically. It really is a lot of work, but she makes us very happy, man. And yeah, it's great to see her kind of flourish and get healthy again. You know, really, really amazing. And it
Wow.
makes us feel nice, and you know, it's amazing to see her flourish. You know, in
I
that
mean,
way.
it's
So
amazing to see a lovely little trio now, because you know she's part of the family now. She's part of the look, and you actually look like the typical traveler. Joey, this is why people get jealous
yeah,
of you, man. Is that you know
classic.
you're the typical traveler, you're living the life, and then you go in and save a life, and it's just beautiful, man. It really is beautiful.
I mean, my heart says, like we probably should have done like this is the thing, dude. Like I say, like we've come across a lot of animals that have needed some kind of intervention. Your heart breaks when especially when you love dogs and you see dogs in not good states. And sometimes you see like big fluffy dogs in really hot countries and they're covered in dreadlocks because they need shaving and all this stuff, right? And it's like they're just wild dogs, like without an owner. The dog can't do that,
Mm.
and it lives a very, very stressed life because it's constantly itching and everything else. Not dreadlocks like mine that are like
I was
nice and
I was
well
gonna say,
maintained,
so
right? It's like
like, have you
where
ever
like
felt the need to just
wild dreadlocks.
you just want to start dreading a dog? Like, hey, dude, what's going on? Like, I know how to maintain dreadlocks. Here's some shampoo. And because actually that's a nice little segue because I remember you when you didn't have dreadlocks, and
Mm,
that's going back a while. Well, I think
yeah.
maybe we had met. Let's see, I reckon 2010, 2011.
What was it? Yeah. Yeah, it was a while
We were
ago,
we
dude.
were
It was a
basically
while
at
ago.
university, and I remember meeting you, and
Yeah.
I think you were studying advertising at the time. I think I
Yeah.
was in film school. Um,
Yes.
and yeah, I don't know how we kicked it off so well, but obviously in Manchester at the time, the social media revolution was beginning. Myself as a videographer, was starting to get, video jobs, and then you, working in advertising, also started to get social media jobs. And so I guess we've known each other since then because we've worked together on quite a few different projects and clients and stuff like this. So taking us all the way back to the beginning, I think the first project me and you worked on, was actually a passion project called Mudblood. Mudblood and the Book of Spells. Jerry, tell
Yes.
me,
Yes.
my lovely audience, about Mudblood and the Book of Spells.
Well, dude, I think you need to tell the story of Mudblood and the Book of Flowers. The director of this amazing film, this amazing venture. We're coming out of university and we're like, right, okay, let's do something cool, man. Let's do a cool project. Right, boom. Now we do a not-for-profit project. We try and make a Harry Potter fan film in a days and age where fan films aren't that well accepted, man. Like there's not that many without going through the hoops and everything else with copyright and stuff. Now, like I think the landscape's changed a lot, and I see a lot of amazing films going on, amazing short films
Mm.
tapping into these franchises. And dude, we loved Harry Potter, man. So we were like, right, we
We
need to we
did.
need to make we may need to make this, right? We can make our own sub story of this amazing universe. We can capture what Rowling did, put a spin on it, tell a different character's story, infuse it with some of the methodology that Rowling's created, and yeah, and just have this amazing story. And it was
I mean, I remember making,
fantastic.
like, purely out of the want to sort of carry on the Harry Potter saga. It was 10 years after, Mudblood and the Book of Spells was set 10 years after Harry's day. All about a story of a young Mudblood who gets expelled from Hogwarts, gets in with a group of snatchers that take him on some heist type journey. And I remember that we had put so much effort into sort of writing the script, doing casting. Before we had even figured out money, we were like, oh, let's just go and make this thing. So when it came down to, okay, we've written a feature film here, we've casted like all of the sort of actors in Manchester came for a big casting day, started even doing rehearsals and all sorts of stuff. And then we didn't have a single pound to even make this film. So we actually made the trailer. We made this little trailer in a park, running around with a bunch of wands, whiz, whiz, whiz. And then that trailer was then supposed to go onto Kickstarter, and we were supposed to overnight raise £1 million to make a feature film. And I think it was like, the moment we uploaded this trailer onto
So
Kickstarter,
naive.
nobody came. And it was like it was me and Jerry just sitting there refreshing it, going like, oh,
I thought when we built it, they would come.
that
No.
is the famous lie that everyone is just so misunderstood these days. Maybe in like the 16th century when you built like a wheel, everyone's like, whoa, what's that round thing?
Built a
It was like,
tavern. There's a tavern
exactly.
over there. People will go to the tavern.
Exactly, but
Oh man, that was
today's day and
brilliant.
age, you can't just build it and they'll come. That's the little thing called marketing, for which me and you, I think, had a crash course in marketing during this Kickstarter campaign because, it was like we weren't just going to sit there and let it not sort of do well, So I think we had to very quickly start. I mean, I remember sending God knows how many emails. But actually it was the book, The
Oh yeah.
4 Hour Work Week, which actually, ironically, you are now living the life that Tim Ferriss promised people in the 4 Hour Work Week. This idea of being a digital nomad, but more importantly, the idea of using the global workforce, virtual assistants in other countries to do a lot of the jobs that, it simply costs too much money in the UK to do. So I think for about $60, we got a list of about 1,000 journalists' information. And we sent them a press release about, this Harry Potter fan film. And next thing you know, the film's getting played on Good Morning America, The Guardian, The Times, the BBC. And
Yeah,
I
man. I
thought that
remember
was
waking up that morning being like, you like message me, being like, yo, the BBC's got hold of it. And then throughout the day, like everyone was reporting on it, like Telegraph, Guardian, Daily Times, like everything, every single newspaper. As soon as BBC hit, everyone reported on it. And then it was like 2 days later, you messaged me because it happened like in the nighttime when I'd woken up and you're like, dude, you need to check this link, man. They're playing this thing on the US TV. I was like, wait, and I checked it and they literally played our Kickstarter trailer on good ABC Good Morning America in front of like millions and millions of people.
for $60. For $60.
$60.
For $60, that's all it took. That is all it took. But no, and throughout that campaign, we got so involved, and no one was paying us to do it. We managed to, we did a press stunt where we spray painted 100 ping pong balls. We painted them gold, added little wings to them, and hid these little golden snitches around the UK. We did countless behind the scenes videos. And I think myself and Rika we went to Galway to a Harry Potter convention. I remember
Yeah,
sitting there in this fucking massive room with like thousands of Harry Potter fans on stage talking
man.
about the next Harry Potter film is going to be Mudblood and the Book of Spells. And all of this leads to the very important phone call that we got from Warner Brothers themselves, which was a very funny phone call. And I'm sure I can talk about this now. But I remember at the time the head lawyer at Warner Brothers being like, listen, we like what you're doing, but it's illegal. It's like
Yeah.
you're breaking intellectual property
Shot
laws
in
by
the heart.
raising money, on a third party like Kickstarter. So you have to just quietly just stop. And it was like, what do you mean? So it was very difficult because they were like, yeah, we don't want anyone to know that it was Warner Brothers that kind of, put the brakes on this. But it'd be good if, and I remember them saying to me, oh, you should apply for our young directors scheme and stuff like this. So they really just patted me on the head, being like, good job, just don't carry on. But I'm happy to say that crash course in marketing, for me personally, led on to working with global brands and big marketing agencies, and I guess the last 10 years, me and you have sort of built on the back of that very first campaign we ever did. And I'd say that we're probably more entrepreneurial because of it. We haven't
Oh, for
grown
sure, yeah. Springboard.
side of big agencies. We've kind of worked a lot of freelance projects and had to figure things out ourselves. So yeah, I mean, how did that lead on for you? Because for me it taught me. Oh, I guess we both went into advertising. Myself more on the content end, you on the sort of technical delivery. But yeah, what was it like after that? In the last 10 years, what's it been like?
Yeah, it was a springboard, dude. It really was, not just for skills, network, and everything else, but yeah, it was the experience, man. It was one of those things. I think at that point as well, much like now, and maybe some people listening will be able to relate to this, but it's quite like coming out of university with zero experience. It's quite a daunting process, and sometimes you have to hustle to get that. Sometimes you have to hustle. Like if nobody's opening the door, you have to build the door. Like you have to build the door yourself and start and doing your thing. And that's basically what we did, man. Like it was for me, it was like got out of university, graduated with a good grade in advertising and brand management, and then was just knocking on doors everywhere, just being like, "Yo, can I come work for you?" And every single place was just like, "No, not at this time, not at this time." The experience was the thing that I lacked, and annoyingly, I did doing advertising and brand management at university. It was thereafter that I gained all of my skills pretty much in what I was doing through the practical application of it was methodology that they taught us at uni that we could then apply to real world situations. But it wasn't until I was started working in agencies, started working with clients, started working, doing account management, all this kind of stuff, like client relationships and all these things, right? There's like something that wasn't really, it was like strategies and stuff like that was taught at uni. So coming into the workplace with zero experience, you need to have something. So I think for me, it was like, it really hurt though, dude. Like, not to be able to make that film. Like, I absolutely love Harry Potter. Like, and to be able to, and to not to say that we weren't able to make it. It was like a shot in the heart, man. I really really wanted to make that, but like you said, like just now, it did elevate and springboard us to further success. And I think it's all the skills that we learn through that. The acumen through doing a Kickstarter, a crowdfunding campaign. Well, we did raise money, right? It wasn't like, it's like through all of these efforts, we raised money, man, and we had this thing, and then we were told, oh no, you can't do it. So I think it only just fueled the desire to want to smash it. We had this taste of like, this is success, man. Like, we've had global success with this. What else can we do? What else can we achieve? This is like, it was just inspiration for me particularly. And I know working with you, man, like, was just absolutely amazing. Like, we were just inspired that we knew that we could do it. And I think it's, as Tony Robbins and all these guys say, like, you need these moments of, yes, you can do it, because then you say to yourself, yes, you can do it, and then every single day you're saying, yes, you can do it, yes, you can do it. It builds up the self-confidence, builds up your ability to be able to do it, right? You need that first spark sometimes, and I think for me particularly, it was like the Mudblood was the first spark to say, yeah, you can do it, and if you apply yourself, look how amazing this can get. So I was just like, right, I'm going to do that every single client with every single agency I work with. And
it's amazing, man.
yeah, just
It feels to
amazing.
me like sort of first principle thinking, which we know these days for people like Elon Musk has done so well to sort of go back to the basics of like, what am I trying to do? What have I got to do? What tools do I have at my disposal? And actually, obviously we didn't raise any money in the end. But the idea is that, when the Kickstarter was cancelled, I think one of the letters that Warner Brothers had that they were reading was my business sponsorship proposal, where I was
Oh
outlining how
really?
we would put
Oh really? Yeah.
in the film and how we would put your logo in the film.
Uh,
And so I remember this head, this top lawyer just sort of reading my own fucking email back to him saying like what I was offering businesses if they were to give us loads of money. And so it's like, yes, I didn't know I was breaking the law. Probably should have done. Thank God no money actually ever came into a bank account because we didn't have like a company bank account. We didn't know how all this worked. We were just sort of running before we could walk in a way. But you're absolutely right. That kind of that building the door for us and that kind of just jumping all into it. Everyone needs to do that in life. Everyone needs, if you're in university right now, do a Kickstarter campaign. Make something creative, even if it's put on an art gallery, raise money for charity, do something that gives you a 30-day window to raise a ton of money, and you'll be forced into thinking creatively. I mean, I remember countless nights when we'd be sitting in your house and we'd be, we'd have all the team round, we would have got pizzas from Aldi, and we would be painting these little wings onto these little golden snitches and spray painting them and everything. And then obviously all
mhm.
of that brought us together to sort of be a bit more creative. It leads us on quite nicely though, because
Yes,
that
yes,
was a
yes.
film that actually damaged me quite a bit, and in terms of my confidence. Yeah, as a filmmaker, it's like, yes, I've just made a fan film trailer that got onto Good Morning America. So clearly the quality for what it was, was good enough to get on TV. But then I had sort of got offered all these opportunities working in marketing. And instead of just sort of following my passion for filmmaking, I thought, oh, well, let's go into marketing now and, have spent what, near enough a decade you know, doing video marketing for brands and stuff like this. And so, you know, now we're getting to a point, and the whole reason why I've restarted this little podcast series is because I've just shot Sunrise, you know, which is a short film I've been working on for 4 years. This is original intellectual property, so it's not, we're not going to have Warner you know, coming down on us. In fact, we're actually delighted to announce that Warner Brothers are going to be working with us. Delane Lee, who is the post-production house, you know, they are actually going to be doing the sound and color for the film. So I'm very excited to see that this little story of, you know, Warner Brothers has kind of come full circle. But, you know,
Yeah, man.
we've decided to work together on this again, man. Are you ready to do it again all these years later?
I'm 100% ready to do it again, dude. 100%.
The
Dude,
Cam and
like, I'm
Jerry
so
show.
ready.
Let's
I'm
do
so
it.
ready.
So
I'm
this
so
is it.
ready.
So, you know, the ethos that I learned through working with you and doing Mudblood and then over the years, which is there's just too many projects to now talk about. But, you know, for me, the ethos of making films these days, because the independent film market is dead, the global distribution model is messed up. Filmmakers need to innovate, like every other industry has. And I believe that innovation includes marketing at the production level. So instead of waiting for something to be sold and bought by a distributor before you even start putting money into marketing, I think that filmmakers need to do marketing from the very, very beginning. So obviously, my goal for
Mm.
Sunrise is a short film, you know, and we will be putting on our own sort of fundraising events to raise money for mental health charities. Um, but you know, to get exposure on videos these days and stuff like that, we rely a lot on content. And so the content that we're making, you know, I guess the behind the scenes series, we maybe have about 100, 150 videos, little short TikToks about how the film was made. And I guess you're coming in as, you know, not just an advisor and a strategist, but also helping me implement the actual ads themselves. So if you could explain a little bit, just for my audience who don't know how paid advertising works, I think people understand that they see sponsored posts online, but if you can just give us a summary about how paid advertising works and how we might just implement it with Sunrise.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, everybody here, I'm sure, has been scrolling through social media feeds and they see all the sponsored posts, right? And there's been, I mean, advertising's come under scrutiny a lot. The big tech firms are come under scrutiny a lot. I think a lot of people are very aware of how online advertising targets certain interests, certain trends, certain behaviors, and we can get highly targeted messaging to those people based on those behaviors and those interests. And yeah, so that's basically what I do. I target highly relevant messages to highly relevant audiences that are going to resonate, and yeah, we distribute. You know, I've worked with so many different clients, working with film and music, and within the entertainment industry, my niche is mostly health, actually, in the health industry. But you know, my passion is also film and music. So yeah, in regards to advertising entertainment, there's a certain strategy that one might follow, and there's all sorts of different tactics that you could utilize. But what some strategies that particularly worked really, really well for us in the past that I'm very looking forward to rolling out. Yeah, it's one of those things that is like all the skills I've kind of built up to this point. I can't wait to carry it out. You know, it's if I benchmark this point in time versus the last point in time when we tried to market a film, it is astronomically different, the skill gap now to where we are as a team and how successful this is going to be. Okay, I think from an online advertising point of view, you know, is creating that really resonant content that's going to speak to people. But like you alluded to or illustrated, as you said, you know, it is a film about mental health, and for me, it's a topic that's very personal to me. You know, I've had many friends that have been affected by this. I have had, sadly, friends that have taken their lives as well, and that's why this project is so important to me. It's not just to market a film, but it's to spread a message and spread awareness. And the people that I've said goodbye to will carry in my heart in this project, and that's why it's so important for me. And you know, like I've seen the you know the edits that you've done, man, and I can honestly say it's an astronomically great film. I cannot wait to jump on this project and to, to help spread the message. Really, there's, in terms of, the methodology that we'll utilize, there's all sorts of things when it comes to ads, but I think for me, it's also important to keep spreading that message and keep that in circulation. Like mental health now is more important than ever, and we've all somehow been affected by it in some shape or form. And yeah, I've had some very close and very deep friendships lost because of mental health, and I'm I can't wait to tell the world about this project and to raise awareness around particularly suicide. And yeah, I think it's such an important project, and I cannot wait, man. Like we're gonna shake the world again, like we did with Mudblood, with Sunrise, and we'll do this again. And but now, like I said, the skill gap is so much higher, so much better, and that's why I'm so happy and confident right now that we're working together again, and we're going to make this a massive success. You've done so, guys, everybody. Cam has put years of his life into telling this story, and it is a magnificent story. It is beautifully told. It has got amazing writing behind it. It's got amazing people and actors and production crew behind it. It is wonderful. I'm so blessed that you obviously asked me to come on the project, but I'm even more excited about what we can achieve with this. Like it's dear to my heart, and it's something that I'm very, very excited about, because I think people are speaking about it a lot, and I cannot wait to show people this amazing story that you've created, so that we could also potentially help other people, because help is what's needed now, man. And I think through storytelling storytelling as human beings is the number one method of communication, right? And what you've done is you've created a fantastic story that aligns very, very nicely, well, I say nicely, very accurately around the cultural narrative that's very, very important right now. What's important in the culture right now? Mental health, as all this tech kind of builds up, as all this disparity and despair builds up, mental health increases. And that's why this project is so important. I cannot wait for people to see it, man. I cannot wait to tell people more about it. I'm absolutely blessed and honored to be a part of this, and I'm going to do everything. I'm going to take Sarah, I'm going to take Rye, I'm going to take Nish, all in my heart. And we're going to drive this project together, man, with them in our hearts. We'll do it for them, and we'll do it for all of the people that are suffering currently with any mental health issues. My heart goes out to you, and I'll say, like Cam will speak on this as well. I know you've been speaking to a lot of mental health charities, but if there's anybody out there ever struggling, even message me, man. Like, there's help for you out there. Just chat to Cam, chat to Calm, chat to some of these amazing mental health charities, and there is help for you, there is support for you, and there is love for you out there. And it's so important right now, so important. So that's why I'm blessed and honored to be part of this project, man. And I take it all in my heart, and I'm gonna deliver and do this for the people that we love that have been affected by this.
Fuck, man.
Across the world.
Dude, what an amazing just way of explaining it. And I'm very, very grateful to have you on the team helping us get this short film out to the world, so that people can start having conversations, learning from the story of this cold calling scam artist who ends up saving the life of a suicidal victim. I haven't told the audience much about the film itself, and I hope that I will be able to explain it a bit more. But something that's really important about you and I, Jerry, is that actually, we got together, almost a decade ago, and we've still worked together. You're still
way longer.
Oh, mate, you've been such an important person in my life. And all I can say is that, I feel somewhat responsible for any team that we've ever put together. And unfortunately, we've lost people from those teams. You know, Sarah, who was my ex-partner, you know, we had dated for 4 years. Sarah was one of the people in the Mudblood team. You know, she spray painted those golden snitches with us and you know, did whatever she possibly could to help us in that campaign. And yeah, unfortunately, what is, you know, nearly 2 years ago now, she took her own life. And so, you know, to think that, you know, she was someone that was actively participating in something that we wanted to happen, makes me feel a little bit remorseful, you know, and at the fact that I couldn't do anything to stop it, and that, you know, like I think we all have people that are in our teams, in our companies, in our lives, our families, and we don't necessarily always take responsibility for their mental health. And you know, it's not that I blame myself for you know what happened with Sarah. We had been split up for many years, so I don't see that as being, you know, something I didn't even know she was struggling. But it reminds me that, you know, you can't help everybody, and that maybe if there's only 5 people in your life that you can keep tabs on all the time, then to try and identify the things that that you need to know in order to kind of, yeah, get a feeling like they're struggling, you know. And you've helped me so much in the years, and I think because we've got a bit of a network and a circle together, it's like, you know, we do talk about each other to each other, and we do know when someone's going through something. And it's funny because whenever I'm going through shit now, I always get like a few mates just all get in touch, and I know they've all been talking, and it's amazing though, you know. And I think that that's counter, you know, counter sort of intuitive towards the society we live in, where no one wants to feel like they're being spoken about. No one wants to feel like, you know, that they're doing anything weak or wrong. Whereas actually, I've had so many failures where my friends have come in and picked me up, that I can't think about anything else but paying that forward to people. So yeah, to emphasize on what you're saying, you know, to telling people to reach out. You know, reaching out to people isn't just about asking for help; it's about offering help as well, and offering someone to listen to. Because if you can, you know, if you can imagine that if you're going through a lot of pain for whatever reason, sometimes the best remedy is helping other people. You know, sometimes the best remedy is to hear somebody else's
Giving
problems.
back.
You know, I mean, I remember expressing, you know, my own suicidal ideation, you know, when I was particularly tired and constipated and just generally just when your body is in a really bad state and you're very, very stressed and you have these kind of thoughts. You know, I had an intrusive thought where the moment I explained this thought to a friend, he actually just said to me, he said, "Oh, you thought about killing yourself?" And I said, "Yeah, yeah, it would, you know, would be an easy way out." He said, "Well, how are you going to do it?" And I was like, I don't know, do it this way. And he was like, no, 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 don't do it that way. Do it this way. And I went, wait, what? I said, have you thought about this? And he says, yeah, every day. And that was this
Wow.
moment where, like, it, you know, it broke me out of my funk because suddenly I realized he was himself in danger and needed someone to talk to. So we actually spoke for hours and hours about each other's lives, and I think both of us came away knowing that we had someone that was there for us and that understood, you know, if this was going to be, you know, the reason why they weren't here, at least someone knows the reasons why. And I say that because it's all too often that people don't know the reasons why people went through with that final act of taking their own life, and because of the prejudice and the sort of people don't want to talk about it after the fact, we very rarely look at the reasons why people get into those situations to begin with. Listen, dude, we could talk forever about this, but I think one of the things that have enlightened both of us to this kind of like level of compassion, a level of
Could
consciousness.
I just put a pause, Matt? I really need the toilet. I'll be back.
Sure, go,
Go, go, go.
go. I'll just chat to myself for a little bit. This one very quick break. Jerry is going to go for a piss. But just whilst we're on a break, let me come to you with the sponsor of this episode, myself. Sunrise. Sunrise is a short film about a cold calling scam artist that saves the life of a suicidal victim. We shot this over 5 days in a studio and 5 days on Alderney in the Channel Islands. It's a beautiful film. We want to enter into music festivals No, we don't. We want to enter into film festivals. We want to use this film as a way to put on these 5 major fundraising events where we show the film to an audience, have a mental health panel discussion, and raise money for mental health charities that we choose. That is going above and beyond what most filmmakers do with their short films. But in order to go above and beyond and to actually get this film sort of seen by as many people and therefore more money donated to the charities, we need your help. So if you are an influencer, if you are someone that wants to donate money to this cause, if you want to become an executive producer of Sunrise, then please get in touch with me, because any support you can give help us raise the awareness of the film, can also help us raise the awareness of the story of Sunrise itself. Making this film has been an absolute roller coaster, and it's not without the help of many amazing people, including my guest Jerry, that we were able to do this. But that's it, guys. So yeah, back to the show. So, welcome back,
Very
Jerry.
well timed.
I hope your bladder is nice and empty now. We were just
Stay
about to
hydrated,
talk,
people.
we were just about to talk about enlightenment, and the thing that me and you both share is this kind of hunger for knowledge. And I think there's lots of books and there's lots of documentaries and things that we always watch. What is your fascination with learning? Why are you always reading books and trying to better yourself?
That's a very good question. It's a very deep question. Something that I ask myself even. I think, yeah, I think, and it's a very subjective. This is a very subjective answer or question. Like depending on who you are, right? For me, I think it's our duty as human beings to learn and build ourselves up as much as possible in order to be the best human beings that we can be, so that we can leave this world better than the place how we found it, right? And I think through knowledge, understanding, and implementing the knowledge, you unlock parts of yourself and you grow in ways that you can't do if you're not actively pursuing that. And for me, the pursuit of knowledge is so important because I think it actually stemmed down. I was kind of thinking about it a couple of weeks ago. I think it stems down from a little bit of like a perceived fear of the world, right? So this idea of like, if you learn, that fear reduces. If you learn about something, your fear reduces, right? People hate that which they don't understand. So if you understand something, you're a lot less likely to hate it or to be fearful of it. And that was my original, I suppose, inspiration, right? This drive of knowledge alleviates fear. But now it's just a hunger for understanding the world, people, and everything in it. And I think, yeah, like people have a duty. We're so blessed. We're so utterly blessed to be able to pick up, you know, the words of the most amazing authors, the most amazing thinkers, the most amazing leaders, entrepreneur, business in the world. We can go and we can read the writing, the wisdom that they imparted onto the world. We have the ability, we have the honor to go and digest that. And that to me is fascinating. I think if you're on a pursuit of knowledge, betterment, you can't do it by plateauing, right? You have to constantly grow and be better than the person that you were yesterday. And for me, it comes down to also, like implementing the thing. So for me, I try and read over a book a week, but also implement. For me, like books are portals of transcendence. If you read it and you implement that which resonates with you at that point. So they always say, like you can increase your knowledge. And I think there's a lot of people that might might read books, might watch documentaries, etc. But it's through the implementation of that knowledge within your own life that your intellect goes up, right? So, and I think that's something that's very important to me as well, is like not just reading, but implementing the knowledge in which they instill, and to constantly level up that how I'm thinking, how I'm learning, how I'm doing things. And yeah, I absolutely love learning. I absolutely love reading. You know, and if you have people around you, that's why I love being friends with you, man. If you have people around you that have that same thirst and hunger for the truth, it's a lot. You're both gearing up your brains for this transcendent experience. If you can surround yourself with other people that want to elevate their existence together, it's a beautiful process. You can elevate each other, and that to me is amazing as well. You know, and it's so interesting. It's so interesting to understand how other people think and work and learn. You know, and if you can find friends that have that same hunger and zest for
The zest.
knowledge and truth,
We definitely have that
you
same
know,
hunger, but I also think that we've got
yeah.
the hunger for entertainment as well. You know, TV shows, films. Jerry, I mean, look, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this online, but that you have one of the best pirated film collections I've ever seen in my life.
I don't think you can say that online, man. I think that's probably also maybe like, yeah, don't forget this
No,
is before
okay,
the
so it used to be.
streaming age. Now
It,
you can get everything on stream.
Everything's a free online, but
Now,
when we were back in university days, it was you know, there wasn't a single film that should we call him Jerry Flicks? Jerry Flicks was around before Netflix, you know, and it was so impressive because it wasn't even just like the cam version, it was like
oh no,
the DVD quality, like the Blu-ray
of
quality,
course.
whatever it was. And we used to love you know, just hanging out together, watching movies. And you know, I think through that friendship and you know, through those shared debates that we used to have, you know, I think that you know we have sort of grown into a similar person. And I think that is what's interesting is that you become the average of the five people you hang around with. And I'm very, very blessed to have you in my circle of friends. So thank you very much for continuing to help me. And yeah, and I think that you know we're gonna have a great time.
Likewise, brother.
Sunrise is going to be a great project. I'm super, super excited to obviously be revealing more of it, and then you know ultimately to have you come to the premiere and watch the film itself. You know, you're not
I
just
can't wait.
helping out with the marketing of Sunrise, but you've also helped contribute financially. So that's another thing that you know I can't forget that. And so, unfortunately, although I'm still very poor myself. You know, it reminds me when I have friends that put Kickstarters online and they're asking for help. You know, I always help my friends, you know, projects because I think it's very important as well. Like even if you can only give like you know £1, you know, it's like it's just showing people that that you appreciate their projects and you appreciate them putting themselves out there online. And you know, having done two Kickstarter projects now. You know, the fear never leaves you, you know, when you message all of your friends and family and cold email thousands of people and you're still very far off your golden number. It's a horrible feeling to have, you know. And so now when I see people asking for help, it's like, yeah, let me help you, you know,
Of course.
and it's all about
Yep.
paying it forward, right?
Able to serve, right? Yep. Ability to serve, pay it forward, help others, be compassionate to each other, be supportive of each other's projects and each other's goals and visions, and yeah, build up a network of trust and expertise and elevation. And yeah, I can't wait, Cam. Like, you know, I'm so proud of you, man. I'm so proud of this project and what you've achieved so far, and I cannot wait to show the world and tell the world about this and to help to show people and to tell people this amazing story and to tell them that there is hope and there is help out there. And you know, thank you so much for all the work you've done there, dude. Like it is, you know, I'm so blessed and so honored to be in this project and to be helping in this way. I think it's absolutely amazing what you're doing, and
Thank you, mate.
so important, so important.
Thank you, sir. Well, listen, we'll leave it there, but I wish you and your partner and Dobby the most amazing time in Ecuador. And where are you going to next? Where do you think you'll go after Ecuador?
Um, So we need to stay in Ecuador in order for Dobby to get all our vaccines and everything else. We'll probably come back to the UK for a couple of months and then continue around South America. We're going to go to Brazil. We'll go to Argentina, Chile, Bolivia. I can't wait to go there.
All right. That's enough showing off,
Everywhere,
Jerry. That's
everywhere, man.
yeah, the audience back in sunny old England are gonna be
Great old England.
are gonna be really old England. They're gonna be pissed, man. They're gonna be like, who the fuck is this guy? Just like no, but it is important to realize that everything that you've got and what you're doing now comes through hard work. There is nobody on this planet that works harder than you, Jerry. I have had the pleasure of witnessing, working with you, living with you, being around you, and it must be your German blood, but your efficiency and your willingness to commit to seeing a project through to its does not get doesn't get interrupted because of lack of sleep or nutrition. You absolutely get shit done, and I've never met anyone that works hard as well as you. And so that's what you got to be careful of if you think that this life that Jerry is leading is all just rosy rainbows. It's not. It's real hardcore work and dedication. So thank you for inspiring me.
Thank you for inspiring me, dude. If we can inspire each other and the world, what better thing? What better thing?
One
Follow
love.
your hearts, manifest your destiny, and you can achieve anything that you want in life. Everyone, just carry on following your dreams and surround yourself with amazing people.
There you go. Peace and love, my brother.
Peace and love, my brother. Thank you for having me, man. Thank you for everyone listening, and yeah, I'll speak to you very soon, dude. Thank you so much.
Cheers. And cut there. And cut there.